Welcome back to another fantastic property tour, Rankin family. Today, we find ourselves back again in Lakewood Ranch, Florida, looking at this gorgeous model home by Stock Luxury Homes. This model is called the Claiborne 2. Now, this is the first time we've seen this builder on this channel, and I'm so excited to walk this property with you. Now, starting on the outside of the home, you see we got that nice Florida vibe. Great curb appeal, and what a fantastic day to do a property tour. It's sunny, and that's exactly the weather you want whenever you head to Florida. Now, right over here to the right, you are going to have a two-car garage, and over here to the left, you're going to have an additional two-car garage for a total of four-car garage spaces. You have the stucco on the exterior. You have the two-story covered front porch. Now, just take this in. Perfect. So you have the large motor court, then the outdoor lanterns as well. So the cool thing about this one, and this is what I want you to keep in mind whenever we're walking through this, is the simplicity, the minimalistic, and the elegance of this model home. Goodness gracious. Now I'm gonna pan you up here so you can see the two-story covered front porch. Now also, whenever you walk in here, look at this. My 10-foot iron front door with the glass panes that a lot of my long-term subscribers absolutely love. And then let's get you inside. All right. So as soon as we enter, you see you have the two-story foyer or foyer. Love this. Beautiful. Now I'm gonna turn you around because I know you like to see the front door. That way you can kind of get a better grasp of the entire layout. But if you look up there, you see some accent ceilings right there. Got almost like the drop ceiling. Right over here, you got your formal dining. Look at this, family. Beautiful. So you see that you have the high ceilings inside of here, cove lighting in the ceilings. And then not only that, look at the wall. You have some accent lighting in the wall. Really stands out, brings out that elegance and that modernness that a lot of folks are looking for. Okay, so you got your beautiful chandelier hanging down right above here where our dining room table is. Look how open and spacious this is. Even with your column right there, it doesn't take away from the elegance. Now, what I want to do is get you on this side and do a full pan, and then we'll continue the rest of the tour. Wow, can't really beat that. Okay, so since we're already here, let's go ahead and take a look at the great room, where of course you're probably going to spend a ton of your time, right? Look how open and spacious it is. Love the great room connecting to the kitchen. Just one large open concept where a lot of the family can hang out and have a good time. Then you see you got the tray ceilings, but then you have some accents inside of the ceiling as well. So beautiful details that they're adding in here. And let me know about the decor. Do you like that? Now, right over there, of course, you got your recessed areas. Love the arches for your built-ins on both ends. Now, let me know if you would add a fireplace dead center right there in the middle. It might be a good place. I mean, gosh, you're in Florida, so you won't really need it as often. But I love the wood accents right behind the television. And then this will just kind of give you a better grasp of the entire home. So right back here, you got the 10-foot sliders. You open that completely up. And then the cool thing is you have multiple access points to this backyard oasis. We'll get to that a little bit later on, but let's get to the kitchen. Okay. So the first thing that really stands out, of course, is the stack cabinets. But what's also neat is you have the quartz range hood. Love that. It really stands out, matching this massive island right here. So you got the waterfall countertops, quartz continuing here. Then you got the stainless steel appliances. You got a 5-burner cooktop right over here. Love the glass panes inside of our cabinet doors. Really neat. Love what I'm seeing. But then on top of that, you got the herringbone pattern backsplash right back here. That really complements the color palette in here. So they opted for the brass hardware. So you'll see the brass handles throughout, but you got the two-tone cabinetry Right over here, you got the island inside of the sink. Got your dishwasher right there, and then look at this. What a fantastic view. Got 3 pendant lights hanging right above our massive island. Why not? Let's open up some of these for you. You got your trash drawer right there, dishwasher over there, some more cabinet space, soft closing. And then over here, you got the white cabinetry. The stack cabinets continues this way. You got a little wine cooler right down there. And then of course, you know we got to open up this refrigerator. Maybe we might see a Sprite or 2 in here, or a cup from Dunkin' with just some creamer in there. Okay, so you head over here. The Wolf Appliances continues. Goodness gracious, you have a ton of space. So since we're on this side, we'll just go ahead and continue, and then we'll make our way around. So right over here, it's going to lead you to the front foyer, wherever we come from. Continuing this way, look at this. Massive pantry here. You got your double pocket doors in here. Look at that. You got your nice little spice rack. And then you continue, you got some additional storage shelving. So let me know, is this an adequate pantry for you? Will that do for you? All right, so this is going to be our first bedroom. The cool thing about this model is that you're going to have a bonus room, and we're going to see that in a second. You'll see that, but this will be the first main bedroom you see, or not necessarily the main bedroom, but one of the secondary bedrooms here. You got your ensuite. Love that the raised ceilings continues in here. Looks like we got about 12 feet in here. Could be wrong, but it's between 12 to 13 feet as far as the ceiling height in here. But you have plenty of space in here. You have carpet, of course, in here. But if you wanted to opt for just, the tiling to continue in here, or possibly the wood flooring, if you're more of a, white oak flooring type of guy or gal, you can certainly do that. But I love the space that you have in here. So that's a queen size bed, but you have more room available. So you can easily add a king size bed, 2 nightstands, and still have a ton of room to walk. Of course, this is going to be your closet. And I love that we have our own ensuite. So in here, you have the quartz countertops again, tile flooring. You got the wooden mirror frame right here, sconce inside of the mirror. And then continuing right here, got your nice walk-in shower. Look at that massive niche right there. You even have so much space, they even added a glass shelf. So if you have too much shampoo or conditioner, maybe you need 2 or 3 bottles. Maybe you went to Sam's or Costco and got your shampoo in bulk. You never know. It's always nice to be stocked up. But I love how simple it feels in here, how nice it feels. Okay, so of course, we saw that we had 2 different garage bays. But this is going to be the first one. You got your nice mudroom, quartz countertops. You even have a quartz bench right here. Love that. Some additional cabinetry. Now sometimes we like to open these up and just see what we got in here. Love that we have some additional counter space. You already got another, of course, your hooks over there. And then continuing over here to the left, I don't want to spin you around too much, make you dizzy. I can get how that feels. You got your laundry room right here. So we got our additional sink. We got the white cabinetry. In here, we do have, looks like we have the brushed nickel as far as the hardware in here. But the white cabinetry keeps that neutral vibe. Plenty of space for an oversized washer and dryer. Ton of counter space. Ton of cabinetry. This would definitely be a dream laundry room. Heading right out here, let me get the lights on for you. We already got the epoxy flooring. You have plenty of space for a 2-car garage. It's not one of those situations where you might have 2 vehicles, but let's say 2 of them might be Escalades or Suburbans or something like that. No, you could fit those in here comfortably. And that's going to be a side door right there. Okay. So let me know in the comments, if you haven't done so already, what you're thinking about this layout, what you're thinking about this floor plan. You know, we've seen a couple builders so far, and it's good to compare and contrast. And if, of course, if you're just tuning in, you can go back to the catalog and see the other builders that we've showcased on here, just to kind of see what fits your style and your vibe. All right, so now you got your breakfast nook right over here. Love that we have it surrounded by windows. Then you look right above here, you got the tray ceilings. Beautiful light fixture hanging down right above. So you got multiple spaces to entertain and hang out and have a good time. Love that. And then of course, let's say you have the sliders open right over there, and we'll head back this way in a second after we see the second bedroom, but you have an additional access point. So if you want to open up all those doors on a nice day like today, you wouldn't be disappointed. Okay. So right over here, you still have some walk room, right? Like I said, you should be able to fit a king size bed in here pretty comfortably. You still have some room on both sides, but more than likely you would just have a queen in here, queen bedroom set, and you will be good to go. But what you will notice is the high ceilings continues in here, and I'm loving that. Also, you're gonna have tall baseboards throughout. Let me get you on this side. So it looks like every bedroom is independent of themselves. You know, I walked through, just kind of got a quick glimpse of the layout, but you know, we're pretty much walking this one together, just seeing what we have. I love that we have a walk-in closet in this one, and then this is going to be the shower tub combo. But you are going to have your ensuite, so I love that. Beautiful materials they utilize. And here they got the white wooden mirror frame. Not bad. Okay. So like I said, that'll be your additional bedroom right there. And then what we'll go ahead and do is head to this wing, because I wanted to show you this, because this would be, in essence, a bonus room. So you have the access point right over here to your backyard oasis, as you'll see. And then right over here to the right, you're going to have a shared bathroom. So of course, this is going to be a shared bathroom. Let's say the folks are in the backyard hanging out, having a good time. They'd go ahead and use this one. But if you were to make this one that we're about to see a bedroom, you can certainly use that for this one. Okay, look at that. You got this stone shower surround right here. Really neat. Let's continue where our shower flooring is. It's right in there with the shower niche as well. You got your brushed nickel shower head and shower valve. Beautiful. And then you turn around right here, you see got your sconces in the mirror again, quartz countertops, white cabinetry, and then you got some additional cabinetry right over here to the right. Love what I'm seeing. Okay, so here we go with the bonus room. So they have it sectioned as, let's say, a media area or something of that similar, or some of that nature, right? But you got the tray ceilings in here, the accent wall. As you look over here, look at that massive L-shaped couch. So if you were to make this an additional bedroom, or, you know, keep it as a game room or something like that, you have plenty of space to work with. Love that we have a little dry bar over here. Look at that. You got your shelving with your accent lighting. You got a wine cooler down here. If you're not a wine drinker, use it as a beverage fridge. And here you go with the closet, right? So technically, you know, to make a bedroom, just has to have a closet and a window, and that checks the boxes. But if you were to use this as a bedroom, how neat is that? You're a few steps away from that backyard. Look at that. Have a nice popcorn machine. You could have a popcorn machine, snow cone machine, and a cotton candy machine all right here, fitting comfortably. Maybe a tap or two, you know. Really neat. And then of course, whenever you walk back out, this is exactly what you would be greeted with. Not bad. Okay, so we've seen both wings of the house over there. What we'll go ahead and do is take a look at the study. So first thing is, once you enter the study, of course, you got your French doors with the glass panes, but the tall ceilings extend here. Now, this is the epitome of a dream study. Look at the colors that you have in here. You see that we got the drop ceiling down there. Something like, yeah, it looks similar to a drop ceiling or between a tray ceiling. Really neat. That's the first time I've seen that. It's usually either, tray ceilings or, a drop ceiling. But look how open and spacious this is. And then of course, you got your built-ins over here. So if you want to add your books, your decor, some paperwork that you don't want to have on your desk because it might be stressing you out, just go ahead and file that away inside that drawer right there. And you are good to go. But I love the chandelier hanging down right there. Really just adds that elegant, timeless feel and look. Then you'll also notice that the tall baseboards, of course, extends this way. So heading over here, you take a right here, and then look at this. Really neat. You see that we have it completely open. You have an additional access point to the backyard. You got tray ceilings here, perfect exercise room, yoga room, anything that you really want to make it. This is the perfect place for you. Look, you can add a squat rack in here, a bench press, all the above. You get you a Peloton. You are certainly good to go. And then of course you got your beautiful light fixture right there. So this is of course going to be the double doors opening up. Then right over here you have your powder room. Beautiful materials. You got your floating vanity right over here. Really neat sink. Look at that. I want to get you a close up. And of course your pendant lights hanging down right here. All right. And last but not least, head on over here. Before we head to the primary suite, just so you believe me, your other 2-car garage right over here. Really generously spaced. And then of course, straight ahead right there, that'll be an additional side door. Hope you believe me on that one. Hopefully I've gained your trust enough. Okay, so right when you head into your primary suite, look at this. You see you got the double doors. Then I want to take you over here to the right first and foremost. So goodness gracious. Take this in. Wow. Massive area. So you see you got your king size bed, your 2 nightstands right there. That king almost looks like a queen from the amount of space that you have inside of here. Now you head over here, you got your designated sitting area with your doors leading to your backyard as well. So ton of access points. Then you head up here, you see you got your tray ceilings, a ton of windows. Now you do have the grids in there. Let me know, do you like the windows with the grids? Or, if you rather a nice little picture window, just bringing in some more natural light. I know some folks say, add some, accents to it, just kind of gives it a little bit more character, but it really just depends, I've heard mixed comments from that. But look how beautiful this suite is. Then you see you have the accent ceiling again, some architectural details, beautiful chandelier right there. Modern and timeless. Now, I know I did get a comment too about another model that we had shown, and they loved the fact that it was separated between the primary bathroom and the primary suite. So I think you may find that fascinating as well. Now, you do have 2 closets. So this is going to be the first one right here. You got your full body mirror right there, an additional mirror straight ahead. You got some drawers, cabinets, shelving. And then of course, if you wanted to extend that all the way to the ceiling, you could do that just depending on the size of your wardrobe. But I love that you have the slots right there for your shoes. Plenty of space. The tile flooring extends in here. And then heading right over here to the right, this is the second one. So fellas, that probably be his closet, the one that we just seen. And then this would be the ladies. So you see how much room that we have in here. Look at that, open up some of these drawers for you. These are soft closing as well. You got your own bench right there. You sit down, put on your shoes. Sometimes, you know, as you get older, it starts getting a little harder. I know how it is. But then they added the glass panes in here. So then I'm sure they do have some LED lighting in there. So you can illuminate the fancy wardrobe that you have. And of course, officially last but not least, your primary bathroom. So you got some additional cabinet doors right over here, quartz countertops. Look how neat this is. Of course, you got your sink right there, but you got your built-in vanity over there, one large mirror, so you will not miss any angles whatsoever. Right over here to the right on the ceiling, you see we got the tray ceilings as well. Got the his sink straight ahead. Look how roomy it feels in here. Hopefully you can feel it through the video, but I'm telling you, it's spacious in here. Got your freestanding tub. You see the accent lighting extending all the way to the ceiling. Again, you got some recessed lights, so you don't have to worry about this entire room being illuminated. Massive walk-in shower surrounded by porcelain tile. And then of course it's glass enclosed. Why not? Let's get you in here. Look at that. Now that is what I'm talking about. Beautiful light fixture hanging down. Let me show you this one as well. So you see every single mirror, I believe, that we've seen in some of the bathrooms, the sconces were inside of it or attached to it. Of course, you got your water closet sealed off. And an additional storage closet. So goodness gracious, we've seen a lot in here. Hoping you loving it as much as I did, but of course, last but certainly not least, again, of course, is our backyard oasis, lakefront property. So beautiful views. You will see that throughout every single model that we've seen, you know, over the last month or two. They had something similar to it that folks are just loving. Goodness gracious, because in Florida, this is exactly what you think of. You're gonna be out here daily. If not daily, you know, you'll be out here a couple times a week. Okay, so I love our covered section, but what's even neater is, look at that. They even added the exposed beams out here to give it some more character, an outdoor fireplace, plenty of space. Now you can of course see our sliders right over here, but let me get on this side. So I'll do a full pan for you. Okay, so you see that we have it completely enclosed. Don't have to worry about any alligators. I know I get comments about that all the time, right? Being a Texas boy, I don't really have to deal with that too much, but look at this. Imagine having the entire family out here having a great time. You see you have the ceramic wood-like tile. That's gonna extend right above the fireplace to the ceiling. And then you head right here. Look how spacious this is. Goodness gracious. And of course the pool, the beautiful view of the lake. You still have a, you know, some semi-privacy right there. Hopefully you make friends with your neighbors. You don't have to deal with that issue. But let's take a look at our outdoor kitchen. So we got our high bar right over here. You got an additional sink, massive stainless steel outdoor grill right there. You see you got your stainless steel range hood that extends to the ceiling as well. Let me just give you a quick view. We can just hang out here together. Not bad. And then of course, if you have too many folks and you don't have enough seating inside or outside, you can extend over here and have a nice little fire. Man, what a beautiful day. All right. So that was the end of the property tour, family. And thank you so much for tuning in.
All right, Rankin family, I hope you enjoyed this property tour just as much as I did. Again, that was Stock Luxury Homes. Let me know in the comments below what you thought about this particular model. Is this something you could see yourself living in? Would you make any modifications? If so, let me know in the comments below. Of course, if you want more information about this home or any home we showcase, reach out to the information in the description. Consider hitting that subscribe button so you don't miss a tour every single week. And I'll see you folks on the next property tour.
Welcome back to another fantastic property tour, Rankin family. Today, we are back again in Lakewood Ranch, Florida, looking at another Stock Luxury Homes model home, and this one is called the Wyndham 4. Now, if you recall, I showcased the one a couple days ago, right there to the right. That was the Claiborne 2, and you folks seem to love that one, so I thought, hey, you may really love this one as well. Now, starting on the exterior, you do see that we have that beautiful stucco. You are going to have some baby blue accents around the trim. You have the tile roof, but what's cool about this one is I get a lot of comments about having the 4-car garage, and this one has that one as well. You have the 2-car garage right over here to the left, and the additional 2-car garage right over here to the right. Now, you have a large motor court and a long driveway, and I want to preface this as well by saying this is a model home, so you may see a lot of upgrades in here, and this may or may not come with a standard inventory home. So I just want to say that before we do enter. Now, let me give you a glimpse of the covered front porch. You see we have the high ceilings again inside of here. You have the outdoor lanterns surrounding this property. Now, it is a little gloomy today, but hey, let's go ahead and get you inside of this beautiful home. Now, real quick, I just love the elegance of the double front door. You see we have the glass panes, really nice, elegant, and then you have the iron surrounding that as well. So let's get you inside and see what we can find. Okay, so I'll get you inside. All right, so before we continue any further, you have the beautiful foyer. You have the LED chandelier hanging down right here. And then before we continue again, let me go ahead and turn you around. Beautiful. So you see we have the drop ceilings with the LED lighting surrounding that, just creating that beautiful ambiance that you're looking for in a luxury home. And then let's go ahead and start over here in the formal dining. Wow. So beautiful, elegant LED chandelier right above our dining room table. You see we have the high ceilings, looks like between 14 to 15 feet. Don't quote me on that, but really great space. You see the tray ceilings with the accent ceiling. Goodness gracious. So you are going to have the tall baseboards, extremely spacious and roomy in here, which I love. You're going to see a lot of similarities between this one and of course the last model home that we had the good fortune of seeing. So I just want to say that as well. Okay, so heading into the great room, look how elegant this is, family. Goodness gracious. So you got the hardwood accent wall right there. You already got your floating decor right over there, or at least below our television. You see the accent ceilings continues in here, beautiful chandelier, and of course, look at those 10-foot sliders right there. You open that sucker up and have a great time, have that indoor-outdoor feel. And let me do a full pan for you, at least of the great room, and then we'll continue. All right. So plenty of space inside of the great room, continuing the high ceilings, or at least the raised ceilings, continues inside of the kitchen. Beautiful LED chandelier. So that's our second or third time that we've seen it. Third time, actually. Now, we definitely will not miss the pantry, so you don't have to worry about that. But I love our oversized island quartz countertops, panelized refrigerator. Then you got the white cabinetry with the stack cabinets on top. You got the black hardware, the sleek range hood right above that. The quartz countertops continues over here. And then I know that you love that. We got the Wolf appliances. Now, before we continue any further, let's open up some of these cabinets that we have. So we got soft closing, a ton of counter space available. Open this up so you can see really the depth. Sometimes I catch myself just zooming by the kitchen when I rewatch the videos. I'm like, goodness gracious, slow down, Marcus. All right. So you got your Cove dishwasher, which is panelized as well. Got your sink inside of the island. Look how much room you have out there. Got your trash drawer right over here. That's also soft closing. Now let me get you inside of the refrigerator, of course. Okay, not bad. Look at that. We got some branded Stock Luxury Homes water. So if you're ever thirsty, just stop by this one and get you one or two. Then you got a little coffee station over here, something of that nature. Now, on the last one, I was so mad because it was so hidden and we were just zooming by. So I do apologize to all my subscribers. But let's get you in this pantry. That was like the #1 comment I got. I was like, I'm sorry. Okay, so you already got your built-in shelving right over here. You got your spice rack straight ahead. Some additional cabinetry right above here. Little counter space. You got some slots as well. And then of course, always mention, if you need additional storage, you just go ahead and extend that to the ceiling or a little higher. You know, I recommend you get you a nice little ladder. That way you don't have any issues. Because you know, when we put some of those things out of reach, we end up not getting them, right? And expired. All right, so let's go ahead and continue to our nook area. Now let's focus on the ceiling. You see the tray ceilings with the drop ceiling right there with that Cove lighting in there. And then look how spacious this is. So you already have the formal dining over there, but look how much room you even have in this nook area. This, of course, is a 6-seater. You can fit 8 folks in there comfortably if you wanted to get in a, 2 additional chairs. But I love that you can open up those sliders again on both sides. So, I mean, that's what you're really getting, for these Florida vibes that you're looking for. Okay, so since we're already over here, let's go ahead and start on this wing of the house, and then we'll make our way back. So this is gonna be your first bedroom right here. Cool thing is, standard, this home comes with 3 bedrooms, but there's actually, a bonus room, which can make for a 4th bedroom. We'll get to that in a second. It's right next to this one. So I believe, and don't quote me on this, but each bedroom can fit a king size bed. Of course, that's a queen right there, but you see how much room you still have available, how much a walk room that you can take advantage of. You got your walk-in closet with your wooden shelves, the tall baseboards extends in here, and the hardwood floors. Then heading into your ensuite, look at this. Love, love, love what I'm seeing. You got your shower tub combo in here, recessed light right above that. Real minimal shower surround, but still elegant at the same time. And you still have a ton of space inside of this ensuite. It's not something where it just feels extremely cramped. Then you got your sconce in the mirror. And let me do one more full pan for you. Look at this. Decent amount of room. Very impressive. Okay, so you got your quick access door right over here. Then right here to the right, you're gonna have a powder room. This is gonna be separated by a pocket door. You got your quartz countertops, you got an accent wall extending all the way to the ceiling, a recessed light, some additional cabinetry right here. I love how much room you have to work with inside of this floor plan. Okay, so what's neat about this is at first glimpse, you would think this is the primary suite, but it's actually the bonus room. I'm saving the primary suite for a little bit later on, so stick around. But you got your tray ceilings, the accent ceiling, look at that. It continues from, of course, this wall all the way to the ceiling. You got your LED chandelier, 4 additional recessed lights. So much room in here. So whoever gets this room, there's gonna be a lot of fighting on, who gets to stay in here. Maybe you can rotate or something like that. But love the high ceilings. Love that you have a slider right out there. Continue to that extended covered backyard patio or lanai, whatever you want to call it. But look how much walk room you have. And that's even a king size bed, which is crazy to think the amount of room that you have on both ends. And of course, going into our ensuite. And of course, this is a dead giveaway. This is a bonus room, right? But if you just wanted 3 bedrooms and you didn't want to use this as a 4th bedroom, of course, you can have it as a game room, media room, children's retreat. We talk about that quite often. And that's totally acceptable. Of course, I mean, if it's your house, anything's acceptable if it's for you. Love what I'm seeing. Cool thing about this, look at the matching cabinetry with the mirror frame. Complements one another. Got your sconce in the mirror and quartz countertops and the chrome faucet. And then just imagine walking back out here. Look at that. Of course, this is lakefront. It's a model home at this time, but a lot of times I'm seeing, at least out here, the model homes may be for sale, but they have the option for maybe a 1 or 2 year lease back. So sometimes you may want to jump on something before anyone else gets it. And of course, you got to be okay with them getting a lease back. I don't know if this one or this particular builder does that, but I have been seeing that. Okay, so let's go ahead and start on this other side of the house. So that's going to be your 2-car garage. But let's go ahead and start right over here, and then we'll make our way around. Okay, so now we got our additional bedroom here. That's a queen size bed, your 2 nightstands. You can fit a king in here comfortably. You got your dresser over here. The wood flooring extends. Of course, a generously sized walk-in closet with the wooden racks. So we've seen that in the other one. And then your ensuite, of course. Look at that. And then again, the cabinetry matches the mirror frame in there. You got your glass enclosed walk-in shower with your shower niche over here to the right. Even the accented shower surround extending all the way to the ceiling with your chrome shower head. So a ton of room in here. Love that. And then let's do one more pan before we continue. I always try to do these tours with a wide angle lens. It's at a 0.5x. So hopefully that just, kind of does it justice a little bit better than just a, normal camera lens. Okay, now look how massive this utility room. I get, it's so funny. I get the comments about it. It's a laundry room, technically utility room. People think of, the janitor and all that stuff. But I'll interchange it with utility room and laundry room, but we all get what this is. Look at this wall-to-wall cabinetry extending. Got your sink over here to the left, quartz countertops, massive washer and dryer right over there. Some additional counter space over here to the right. And then the backsplash complementing that. And of course, this would be coming in from the 2-car garage. So you got your mudroom right here. You see you got the, looks like we got the shiplap extending all the way to the ceiling, floating shelving. Got a nice little area right here, help you put on your shoes. Of course, looking out here to our 2-car garage. Look at that, you got your epoxy flooring in here. You can fit the 2-car garage, or 2 vehicles in here comfortably. And right there is a side access door to the side yard. It was so funny because that was the #1 comment on the last home tour that we had the good fortune of doing. It's missing that pantry. So I'm trying to go a little bit slow just to make sure we don't miss anything because I know how frustrating that can be. So this looks like our 2nd powder room right here. Look at that, the floating vanity, beautiful pendant lights hanging down, or if you want to call it a chandelier there. Sometimes use them interchangeable. But then that accent wall right there extended to the ceiling. You see the height, got your circular mirror, plenty of space, and even that accent wall, the tile accent wall, is on the floor. Got a nice storage closet right here. Now continuing over here, before we head into the study, look at that. Got your nice wet bar right here. You got your Gin Air wine cooler, quartz countertops, a ton of shelving space available. Look at that. Look how grand that is, just heading straight in there to the primary suite. But let's show you right over here to the right first and foremost. Look at this. So you got your beautiful French doors with the glass panes in here. Your wood flooring extends the high ceiling with the recessed lights. Look at those exposed beams right there. Really neat. Got your gold LED chandelier hanging down. You got your built-ins in here. Look how much counter space. So it looks like you have a little built-in desk right over there with some sleek cabinetry. Then you got those French doors leading to your covered backyard patio. Like I always mention, sometimes you might be in a high stress work environment. And depending on that, you may need to take a break out there. But look how much room you have in here. Plenty of space available. You can rearrange the furniture however you choose, or, of course, opt in for different types of furniture. Then heading straight over here, this is going to be your additional 2-car garage. Before we head in there, you got another little storage closet right here. And an additional storage closet here. Okay. So storage galore. Maybe have a coat rack right there. And of course, right over here. So that's an additional 2-car garage. And like I mentioned, total of 4-car garages. Now this one doesn't have the side door, but the other one did. But you do have the epoxy flooring, as you can see in here. Okay. Now last but not least, before we head to the backyard, of course, it's going to be our primary suite. So look at this right when you walk in. French doors leading straight here. Let's start over here to the right. The left is going to be your primary bathroom. But look at this. Wow. So you may notice some similarities, how we've seen, right, in the other model. But look at this, the tray ceilings with the cove lighting, LED chandelier again. Look at that king size bed. Looks tiny in this room. And that's a compliment because how big this room is, right? 2 oversized nightstands. You got your designated sitting area over here with the accent and tray ceilings right above that. And then of course, if you wanted to head out there and have a good time, open those up and you are good to go. But just look at the depth of this room. This is the perfect primary suite. Cool thing is, most likely, if you're in here, right, you would not have a television. You want this to be your sanctuary and just have that mindfulness in here. Okay. So then, if you didn't want to open up those French doors right there, of course, you got your quick access door right over here. Now continuing this way, let's take a look at our closet. Okay. Look at this. So you already got your built-in cabinetry, your built-in drawers, built-in slots for your shoes, and then right behind this full body mirror, some additional storage shelving. So let me know in the comments your initial impressions so far of this house. I'm glad you've stuck around. Let me open this up. Look at this. Your slot for your dirty clothes. Have those tucked away and not protruding or, throwing off the aesthetic. And then look at this. I just got a comment recently that talked about they have the Rankin scale, and I love to hear it. And they say they base it or judge it off of how many oohs and ahs did I say. So that's funny. Wow. Elegant sconces inside of the mirror, some additional cabinetry right here, some cabinet storage. You see how many drawers you have. Look at the elegant, oversized freestanding tub right there. You almost don't even want to take a bath and get that dirty. But I love that. Really elegant, love the shape, the design. Then of course you got your additional sink right over there. Quartz countertops. Before we look at the party shower, or the super shower I like to call it, let's take a look at the additional closet. So of course the other one was a little bit bigger, so this is most likely going to be the his, but you let me know in the comments if you're thinking what I'm thinking. You got your drawers, your slots, cabinetry right above that, cabinet crowns right above that. Plenty of space. Okay. And of course, last but not least, or I said that already, but you get what I'm saying before we head out there to the backyard. Got your shower bench right here, plenty of space right there, but then you have an additional one over there. Dual shower heads, your shower niche, the black shower valves, plenty of space, and I love that we have the dual entry. You got your oversized picture window right there, separating the two. And then you head out here, and this is what you see. Man, very impressed with some of these Florida homes, I tell you. And like I said, I appreciate you sticking along for the journey and seeing some of these homes. Hopefully you've been enjoying them. We try our best to, get you the best of the best. And that way you can just kind of see what's out there. Okay. So let's get you outside so you can see, in other words, the backyard oasis, where you're probably going to spend a lot of your time. Even on today, a gloomy day like today, this would be a good place to spend some time. Okay, so you got your outdoor kitchen right here. Love this. So you got your little bar area that protrudes. Got your built-in stainless steel grill. You even got a range hood with the porcelain tile that extends right there. Of course, this is going to extend over here and straight over there. So you got your pool cage, of course, so you don't have to worry about those alligators or those mosquitoes or anything. And actually, it even has some slight protection from the sun too. So a lot of benefits to it. But then continuing over here, look at this. You see the beautiful tray ceilings, almost like a coffered ceiling kind of design, with your outdoor fireplace right there, surrounded with a porcelain tile. You can see how many entry points that we have entering inside this magnificent home. Look how spacious it is out here. Perfect for entertaining, having a great time with the family. You can't get much better than this. Then you got your little hot tub area right here, your little spa, and then your pool, of course. And then of course it extends over here, so if you want a little bit more sun or just to enjoy the lake view, this will be the perfect spot for you. All right, family. Well, other than that, that was another beautiful property tour. All right, Rankin family, that was it for this beautiful model home tour by Stock Luxury Homes. Let me know in the comments below what you thought about this particular model. Is this something you could see yourself living in? Would you make any modifications? If so, let me know in the comments below. Of course, if you want more information about this home or any home we showcase, reach out to the information in the description. Consider hitting that subscribe button so you don't miss a tour every single week. And I'll see you folks on the next property tour. Welcome back to another wonderful property tour, Rankin family. Today, we are back again in Lakewood Ranch, Florida, looking at another gorgeous model home by Stock Luxury Homes. This one is called the Gardenia 2. So we have the good fortune of seeing a couple model homes by this particular builder, and I think you're gonna love this one just as much, if not more. Now, starting on the exterior, you see we have the 3-car garage right over here to the right. You have it covered with stucco material. You also have that tile roof. Now look at the massive driveway. Plenty of parking available here, and then also the massive covered front porch. That's what I love about stock luxury homes, is when you are driving by this particular home, or even some of the plans that we've seen by stock luxury, they definitely stand out. Now look how beautiful this looks. Let me go ahead and get you from this angle, and I'll turn you around so you can see the front. Okay, so you have plenty of driveway available, almost like that cobblestone looking material on the driveway. Then whenever you come in here, you see the 2-story ceiling inside of the covered front porch. You do have the double doors, which is certainly a fan favorite. And then that material, or that cobblestone, continues this way. Now let's get you inside so that way you can see the foyer. All right, so as soon as you walk in, you see you have the beautiful chandelier here. Then you have the tray ceilings inside, and then some surrounding, or at least some material surrounding the perimeter of that. You got a little accent wall over here to the left. And of course, as always, let's turn you around so you can see the front. So in here, you're gonna have the hardwood flooring, and then just in the foyer itself, you see that you have the tile floors. And then we continue heading to the great room. Beautiful accent ceiling, as you can see. Now, stock luxury does a fantastic job with their model homes and just dressing it to the nines and really just creating that luxury experience that you're looking for. So you can see how much space you have in here. Now, straight ahead, you can see your built-ins. You got your floating shelves, the raised ceilings in here, then of course a beautiful chandelier that just really sets the tone inside of a great room. Now, the cool thing about this one is, of course, a lot of these homes that we've had the good fortune of seeing, you open up these sliders, create that indoor, outdoor feel, and just have a great time. Now, it is a little gloomy today, but most of the time it is that sunny weather that you would expect whenever you head to Florida. Now, look how roomy it is. Now, let's go ahead and start in the kitchen so you can see this beauty. So the first thing that stands out is these quartzite countertops. Massive island that you have. Then of course you got the stack cabinets with the brass hardware. Really stands out. This looks like that Taj Mahal quartzite. And then of course, you know, there's always the high-end appliances that you get in here with the Wolf oven over there. Now you let me know if you prefer a panelized refrigerator, or do you like the stainless steel? You know, you got the Sub-Zero fridge right there. And of course, the Cove dishwasher, plenty of cabinetry on both ends. You may not be able to pick it up on the video, but that's actually the 2-tone cabinetry. So you got the white cabinetry on this side surrounding the perimeter. And then you also have this gorgeous light gray that complements these counters very well. Now, I love the space that you have between, of course, the island and the counters over here. So plenty of walk room. If there's multiple people inside of the kitchen prepping some food. And then look at that. It even extends on the lower exterior of the range. Now it looks like they had some cabinet doors that extends up there for our range hood, and you can see the backsplash as well. So they complement each other. Fantastic job of curating the materials and of course the furniture as well. So these are going to be soft closing. Massive drawer right over here. Of course, you got your trash drawer here, and then you can see the brass hardware. But look how much counter space that you have. Then, of course, you got the backsplash right here, and then you got some LED lighting right underneath that. So plenty of space to be able to entertain, have the entire family over here. You know, we always got to see. Open up the refrigerator, you see you got the stock water, bottled waters in there. You got your coffee station. Plenty of space available in here. Now, before we continue, let's go ahead and take a look at our little nook area right here. Most likely going to be used as your dining area, but look how much space that you have here. Now you see over here, you got a dry bar, then you got a mirror in there, the pendant lights doing a fantastic job of complementing one another. Wine fridge right down there. If you wanted to add some Cokes in there, you're not a wine drinker, that's totally fine. Then you see you got your glass panes in there, and then opening these up, fantastic. Oh my goodness. So let me do a full pan of, yeah, got some decor right there, might block your view a little bit, but you can see how spacious it is. Okay, so now let's go ahead and head to this wing of the house. I want to get you over here, and then we'll work our way back. So you got your quick access door right here leading to your covered backyard patio. Look at this. Look how much room you have in here. Now, of course, this is a bonus room, right? So you can use this just as that, you know, little media area, game room, something of that nature. But if you wanted to create it any other space that you want, I mean, you could do that. It's you know, the custom, so you can customize it to your own particular liking. Of course, we're seeing the model home just for the decor and to really showcase it. You got a wet bar straight over there with the glass pane cabinet doors. You got your little wine fridge right there. That's Gen Air. Look how much space you have. Then right above that, you see you got the tray ceilings, the cove lighting, the painted beams right there. And of course, look at this view. So you may notice that a lot of these model homes are on the same street. There's quite a bit actually. I always said if you're in the market looking, it's always nice to just kind of see some model homes by certain builders and just find out which one you are enjoying the most. But look at this, you can open up these sliders here, head to the lanai, and you are good to go. There's an outdoor fireplace. We'll get to that in a little bit. So this is gonna be your shared bathroom right here. Look at this, this is a full bathroom. You got your quartz countertops, your chrome sconces inside the mirror. Beautiful mirror frame right there. Chrome hardware. And then heading in here, you got the herringbone pattern shower surround. You got your window with the grids inside. Then a nice oversized shower head. And then the flooring in here, you have ceramic wood-like tile. And then there's a pocket door separating these. And then you can see this is a queen size bed with your 2 night tables with your dresser. And then of course, here's the pocket door right here. So you definitely have a decent amount of space. I mean, so for this one being right at 4,000 square feet, you can see how they utilize it. Now, if you want a bigger plan, right? I've showcased a couple by this particular builder. I recommend checking those out, especially if it's something where you need a king size bed in some of the secondary bedrooms and then having your own private ensuite. That's going to determine which plan is best suited for your particular needs. Okay, so this will be our next bedroom right here. This will just give you an idea of the space in here. I did get a comment recently if I got the laser tape measure. I think I got the wrong one because it was not going to be beneficial to you as a viewer if I just kind of stopped the tour and, you know, did the measurement. So I'm looking for one that I can do it quickly and really not mess up the flow of the entire video. So bear with me. I'll find a solution for you very soon. Okay, so now this, of course, is our ensuite. Look at how we're looking. Got a generously sized walk-in shower. Again, the chrome shower head. You got your shower niche over here to the right. Plenty of space available in there. You might be able to fit 2 people in there. Don't know why, but just saying. You got your quartz countertops. Look at that sconce. You got 2 of those in the mirror. And let me know, do you like the sconces inside the mirror, or would you prefer them to, you know, be on the sides? In the mirror, it looks pretty neat. Okay. So you do have the wood racks inside of course, the closets over there. Now let's make sure we don't miss anything. I'm talking any of the pantries, because you know, sometimes I do that. So decently spaced in here, you know, a decent amount of space in here. And of course, like I always mention, you can extend that all the way to the ceiling if need be. If you need some additional space, that's no problem whatsoever. Then you got your powder bath. Love the floating vanity here. You see the wood-like tile continues inside of here. You got an accent wall, the two different material accent wall. But the cool thing is, look how neat the mirror is, extending all the way to the ceiling. And again, the sconces inside of the mirror. So before we head to that side of the home, let's go ahead and make sure we don't miss anything this way. I'll come back through and touch on all the rest of the rooms. Don't worry, didn't miss it. This will be your 3-car garage. Look how much space that you have in here. Let me turn on these lights for you. Already got your epoxy flooring. Of course, you got your side access door right there to the side of the yard. But yeah, you can fit 2 Escalades in here and even a Tahoe if you wanted to. Sometimes they may have garages where it's a golf cart garage on one side, so you may fit 2 of your vehicles in a golf cart. But in there, I think you can fit 3 cars without an issue. Okay, so now head into our laundry room. Look at this. So you got a normal size washer and dryer, but you can easily fit the oversized one if you need to. More of like the industrial size. You still got room on both ends. So you got your cabinetry right above that. Got your light fixture. Plenty of counter space. This is quartz countertops. The backsplash extends all the way to the ceiling, as you can see. Got your recessed lights in here. A ton of cabinetry available. Love that. And then it even extends all the way over here. So wall to wall counter space. And then of course the tall baseboard. So that's going to be throughout the entire home. As far as the tall baseboards, we'll head to our next bedroom here. Look at this. So you got your queen size bed, your 2 nightstands. You may be able to fit a king size bed in here comfortably, depending on the size of the night tables. But most of the time, I mean, for the secondary bedrooms, queen size bed fits, you know, extremely perfect. It just would be a nice thing to have, just to know later down the road, if you needed to upsize or something like that, you can fit the king size bed in here. So not a walk-in closet. However, you have a decent amount of space. Okay. So now inside of our ensuite here, look right above that. So even on the lower and the upper end, closer to the ceiling, you see that you have that wood surrounding the shower, and even on the bottom. Pretty cool feature. Like I said, it's always nice to see different things and out of the box thinking. Here, looks like we have that quartzite and then the sconce inside the mirror. And I always know when I'm doing a decent job when my hand goes numb from holding this. You got your storage closet right here. So you can add that coat closet in there or something like that. And then of course, if you wanted your own designated, you know, mud room or mud area, different plants will certainly accommodate that for you. Then this will lead back to the foyer. You can even see the tray ceilings right above that. And then the same thing how we saw inside the foyer, where you have the wood surrounding the perimeter of the tray ceilings. You see that in here as well. And of course the light fixture, as you can see. Now heading into, of course, the study, you see that we have the double doors right here. How you doing, Shanta? No, you're good, you're good, you're good. So you got the double sliding doors right there. And then of course, you are gonna have your built-ins on both ends, plenty of space available. You got your nice floating shelves, and then that's gonna continue over there as well. But what you all have been waiting for, of course, is our primary suite. Look at this. So you got your French doors heading in here. I'll start over here to the right. And then, of course, you are going to have the separate his and hers closet. So stay tuned for that. Look at this. Okay. So again, beautiful accents inside of the ceiling, architectural details that you're certainly looking for that are just a showstopper. Now you can see that you have, a designated space essentially for your sitting area. But if you needed even more space, that's where I say go to the Claiborne or the Wyndham, and that way you can have more of it pushed out a little bit, more of like a bump out, and then you have even more room to work with. But this is certainly adequate in my opinion. Then you got your French doors leading out there. And let me just be quiet and let you take this in. Love that. Beautiful chandelier there. That's a king size bed, of course, your 2 nightstands, your dresser over here. Look how much walk room you have available. If you needed to get a custom bed for whatever reason, you might be 6'9" or 7'11", as far as your height is concerned, you could even fit a massive bed in here, a custom bed. Let's say if you're the size of Shaquille O'Neal. Now, if you are the size of Shaq and you're not in the NBA, we need to have a talk. If you've been in the NBA, you played basketball at one point in time, I give it to you. Or unless you had an injury, I get that. But if not, we need to get you on the dream team. Okay, enough of that. Let's start right over here to the left. Look at our walk-in closet. There's one adjacent to this one. We'll see that in a second, so don't worry about the size of it. This is certainly adequate for a his closet. You already got your built-in mirror right there, built-in drawers with the black hardware. Right behind here, you got some additional shelving space that you can take advantage of. Okay, and this will be, of course, your second one. So it looks like very similar as far as size, maybe just a little bit bigger here. But you have the white with that, complements the black racks and then the hardware. So plenty of space available. I love that. And you can see that wood-like tile extending here without an issue. Now, last but not least, of course, is going to be our primary bathroom. Okay. So decent amount of space in here. Nothing, crazy how we've seen in other plans, but of course it's expected with the square footage in here. You got your freestanding tub. Over here, you got some additional cabinetry with the cabinet crowns. That's going to complement the mirror frame. You got your sconces inside of the mirror, quartz countertops, the beautiful cabinetry color. The color palette is fantastic. And let's take a look at our walk-in shower. So plenty of room in here. We don't have the dual shower heads. If you need that, like I always said, refer to other plans, or you can add it into this one down the road. But you got your shower niche right there, the chrome shower wand. Now you don't have to worry about it because you got the windows up there. It's private. You got the grids and the shower surround complementing the shower flooring, or the bathroom flooring rather, and the countertops. And of course you got your water closet over here with the pocket door. So plenty of room available for the square footage. They've definitely done a great job of utilizing the space that you have. So last but not least, of course, is going to be the covered backyard patio. We'll see that right now. And the, lanai sounds a little bit more fancier, technical. So let me know in the comments if you prefer me to say that or covered backyard patio suffices. Okay. Now you see we have the tray ceilings right there. The outdoor fireplace that I mentioned earlier in the video, that's floor to ceiling. You got your mantle surrounding it. Then you got the herringbone pattern tiling that complements, and then the wood-like tile surrounding the rest of it. So definitely a decent amount of space, and that's honestly an understatement. You can see how much room we have even continuing around there, around the extended area. You can come over here. You remember the little private patio that you got for your primary suite. Turn you around right here. You got a beautiful view. As always, can't live in Florida without a pool, right? So multiple points of entry. The sliders opens up all the way. You know that. Even in the bonus room over there. Quick access door. Then you got your open concept dining area over here. You can hang out. Your outdoor kitchen. That's going to have the waterfall countertops. Your stainless steel range hood continue to the ceiling. The herringbone pattern is going to, the backsplash that we just saw on the fireplace that extends over here. So keeping it congruent with one another. You got your sink inside of your island. And look at that view every single day. Put some tomahawks, some ribeyes on that grill. I can already taste it right now. And then you got the extended area over here if you need some fun in the sun. But other than that, family, that was another beautiful model home tour. All right, Rankin family, that was the beautiful Gardenia 2 by Stock Luxury Homes. Let me know in the comments what you thought about this particular model. Is this something you could see yourself living in? Would you make any changes? And if so, you have to let me know in the comments. Consider hitting that subscribe button so you don't miss a tour every single week. And I'll see you folks on the next property tour. Welcome back to another wonderful property tour, Rankin family. Today, we are back again in Lakewood Ranch, Florida, looking at another gorgeous model home by Stock Luxury Homes. This one is called the Margot 3, and it's actually the fourth one we've seen on this channel, and I can't wait to show you inside of this one. Now, starting on the exterior, you see that we have the beautiful stucco. You also are going to have some trim that adds a lot of character to the exterior of the home. Then you are going to have a long driveway, additional parking right over here to the left, and the 3-car garage right over here to the right. Now, I love that we have the LED lights surrounding this. Now, it's, of course, in the daytime, right, where you really can't see it, but you can only imagine at nighttime, this one's standing out. Now, right here, you have this massive covered front porch. That's one of the greatest feedbacks that we've seen about Stock Luxury, is because they take pride in their home. So you're going to see the soaring ceilings inside of the covered front porch, as well as the great room. We'll get to that a little bit later on. You do have the outdoor light fixtures as well. And then, of course, the iron door front entrance. Look at that. So you got the glass panes surrounding that, and an additional window right there, bringing in some more natural light that a lot of folks are looking for. But without further ado, let's get you inside. Okay, so as soon as you enter in, the first thing you notice is the 2-story foyer. Beautiful pendant light hanging down right there. And then, of course, you see you got the tall baseboards, white oak flooring that's going to extend inside of the great room. And look at those soaring ceilings as well. So what I want to do first and foremost is take you through the study. So you're going to have the French doors immediately whenever you walk in. You see you have the tray ceilings right there. And then, of course, the massive window with the grids inside. Now, they are going to have some floating shelf that you're going to notice inside of here. Then you got the built-ins right here. So if you need some additional drawers or cabinetry, you certainly have that. And then I love the fact that the desk is right here, so you can see the amount of space that you get to work with. Now, inside of the French doors, you are going to have the glass panes, as I mentioned previously. And then right above here, you got this LED chandelier hanging down. So extremely spacious. The cool thing about this one is that this is going to have 3 designated bedrooms. But the cool thing is that you are going to be able to add an additional bonus room. If you wanted to make that the 4th bedroom, you can certainly do that. No issues whatsoever. Now, what I want to go ahead and do is do an entire full pan of this great room. Wow. So the first thing that comes to my mind, and you let me know in the comments if you agree, is absolute luxury. So you see you have the built-in recess areas with the sconce on both ends. Then you got this beautiful chandelier hanging down. Now you are going to have the exposed beams running from end to end, adding a lot more detail again with the recess lights. You're going to have 14-foot ceilings, and then of course on the top of the tray you're going to have 15-foot ceilings. So that just gives you at least an idea of the size of these ceilings here. Now look at this. So you have the great room, and then of course opening up to the kitchen, your 10-foot sliders right here where you can open that entire slider up, go ahead and have that indoor outdoor living feel. Now I'm gonna get you on this side. You see the white oak flooring extends here. That's even gonna continue all the way to the kitchen. We'll see that in a second. And then this will give you a little better glimpse of the entire layout here. That's exactly what I like to see. Okay, so there's been nothing but great feedback about stock luxury, and I think this one is knocking your socks off so far, hopefully. Of course, I don't want to get ahead of myself. So now heading into the kitchen, you see we have this oversized island right here, quartz countertops. You have the stacked cabinetry that's going to go at least surrounding the perimeter of the kitchen. You have the wooden range hood. The quartz countertops extends over there. Wolf appliances, so they didn't go cheap. They definitely went high end, and I love to see that. Now you are going to see you have the chrome hardware that's going to complement the quartz countertops. Then you got a 5-burner cooktop here, and you can see the matching backsplash that's going to continue all the way around there. Now you have the Cove dishwasher down here, sink inside of the island. You can see how much space you have to work with. Now this is going to be just under 4,000 square feet, just to kind of give you an idea. And then that, at least the entire layout is going to be practical. So you got your trash drawer right here, all soft closing. You notice you got the two-tone cabinetry from the island to the cabinetry surrounding the perimeter, and then additional storage. So as always, we like to open these up so that way you can see how much space you get to work with. Now that's soft closing cabinet doors again. And then just even looking at the space between the island and the counter space over here. So if you like to have multiple people inside of the kitchen, this is perfect. Then you got your Sub-Zero wine fridge built into the sink. And then, as always, you know we have to open up the refrigerator. So that'll show you how much space you have to work with. Of course, the freezer right down there, double doors. And then of course, you have some additional cabinetry right next to this. So I have all your spices in here, hidden away, stowed away, and you are good to go. So what we're gonna go ahead and do is we're gonna continue on this wing right here. And then just so you see that, well, how about we just take a look at our formal dining? Why not, right? Look how much space. So you see that you have a 6-seater dining table here. You can comfortably fit 8 folks without an issue whatsoever. Then you see the high ceilings with the tray continuing here. Beautiful, beautiful light fixture. Love to see it. All right, so we got a glimpse of that. Now I'll make sure we don't miss the pantry. So you see we have a walk-in pantry, wooden racks in here. And then of course, like I always mention in these tours, if you need some additional shelving, you can go ahead and extend that a little bit higher if need be. But let me know in the comments what you're thinking about this floor plan. Again, this is the Margot 3, and we've seen other ones like the Claiborne, we've seen the Wyndham, we've seen the Gardenia. And so you may be noticing some similarities inside of these models, but then also some slight nuances that may make this plan a little bit more appealing than the other. Okay, so you got your chandelier hanging down right there. Then of course, like I mentioned, the white oak flooring extends inside of here. You got a dresser, king size or queen size bed, and the 2 nightstands. You probably could fit a king size bed here comfortably. Actually, you really could. Love that. Okay, we'll see the walk-in closet in a second, but first and foremost, let's see our ensuite. Here we go. Quartz countertops, sconce inside the mirror, nice large pane. And then of course, your generously sized walk-in shower. Okay, so you got some tiling detail. Again, right there, you got a little curve right here. You can see that down there. But you do have the shower niche. That's what I'm talking about. Then you got the cabinet crowns right there. You got your little towel closet that you can take advantage of. Real sleek, but luxurious at the same time. Okay, so the tall baseboards are going to extend in here. And then now we got the wooden racks. I'm so happy we don't have wire racks in here. I'm telling you, I get eaten alive. And I know it's not personal, right? But honestly, for now on out, I'm thinking about just going ahead and walking out of the home and not showcasing it if it has wire racks. So glad we got the wooden racks in there. All right, so now you continue down this wing. This is of course gonna head to your 3-car garage, but look at your laundry room right here. So you got a pocket door separating those. Beautiful backsplash, and then look at that. From wall to wall, surrounding, you got additional cabinetry. And then you see you got plenty of space for an oversized washer and dryer. You do have the Whirlpool. Some folks like the Maytag or GE. So it really just depends on holding it against them. They got an additional sink right here. Let me just open up some of these for you as well. That's what I'm talking about. And even inside of the laundry room, you got soft closing cabinet doors. Okay, not trying to spin you around too much. I know how it is watching this back. And then of course, look at this. 3-car garage, epoxy flooring. You got your quick access door right over there to the left. And then so you can imagine opening up these garage doors and you just have a ton of driveway. Okay. All right, so we've seen this wing of the house. So right where this study was, that's gonna be, of course, where our primary suite was, but I wanna show you the other areas first and foremost, and we'll get to that a little bit later on. Now let's head through the kitchen. Now you got your little breakfast nook as well. I didn't show this one that much, but I want you to see how much space you still have. So of course you have the formal dining and then your breakfast nook right here. You can just hang out where, I mean, most likely you're gonna hang out at least the most amount of time right there. Then on this wing of the house, this is gonna have a pocket door separating the two. So you can see this. So if you want to just close this off, depending if you're entertaining or not, or if you have some family that's staying in here, that's going to determine how often you keep that door closed. But look at this. So you got your next bedroom right over here. Beautiful chrome light fixture, queen size bed, 2 nightstands, a dresser over here, and look how much walk room you still have available. Now this one's going to have an ensuite as well. Generously sized walk-in closet. Love it. And I know that I mentioned this before, but the reason why I really love walking through model homes is just because typically every room is furnished, right? And, I know I've done a couple vacant tours and things like that. It just doesn't really hit the same for some reason. I mean, I know the reason, of course, right? The furniture is appealing. Looks like someone lives there and just gives you a better idea. But if you notice, I've been doing a lot more model homes, at least lately. We're going to change it up a little bit pretty soon. Get you back into some nice luxury tours, but there were just so many to get that I couldn't even get to them in time. So this one's going to have the shower tub combo right here. You see that we have the shower niche again. I love that. Then you got like the chevron pattern tile work right there, surrounding those 3 sides. And then of course, you got your vanity over here. So real sleek, real nice. And then the tile flooring is going to extend inside of the bathroom. Now continuing down, this is going to be a shared bathroom. So I did mention earlier that you can have up to 4 bedrooms, right? So this would be your optional 4-bedroom, and you can customize this however you like, but you do got the quick access door to your outdoor living, right? Your covered lanai. And then this is just going to show you our shared bathroom. So you got this honeycomb type tiling on the shower floor, quartz countertops, the white mirror frame with the sconce inside the mirror, an additional walk-in shower with the shower niche. Love what I'm seeing. And then that honeycomb tiling extends right there for our shower floor. Okay, So now separating this bonus room right here, you're going to be able to access it through that hallway that we just went through, but then also you have a pocket door right here. And look at this. The soaring ceilings continues inside of here. Look at that. You got an accent wall. You got a wet bar right over here to the right. So, I mean, if you don't have to have it as a fourth bedroom, of course, I would definitely say this is one of the best options to have it just as a bonus room, a game room, a hangout space. And then, goodness gracious, look, you got the bathroom right there. You really wouldn't even have to leave. Look at that massive TV. Oh my goodness. You can see yourself just hanging out here having a good time Monday through Sunday after work, of course. But just look how much room you have in here. Now, if you did make this a fourth bedroom, goodness gracious, as far as the competing with the primary suite, you might not want to be over there, even though you do got the his and hers closets. We'll get to that a little bit later on. Okay, enough of that. So this is going to be a Gen Air beverage fridge right over here to the left. You're going to see that. Then, of course, you got your quartz countertops, the matching backsplash, or at least the color combination. Looks fantastic. Even with the cabinetry, just really adds that sleek element. Then, if that's not enough, you got your sliders right here heading out there again. So you not only do you have that quick access door right here, if you want to just keep that closed, you got your additional sliders. Love it. And then, of course, walking back out here, look how grand this looks. Wonderful. Okay. So, again, we already, recapped the great room, the kitchen, the dining, all the other bedrooms. Last but not least, of course, is going to be our primary suite. Before we go ahead and head there, just want to show you really quickly your powder bath. So the white oak floors continues in here. You got your floating vanity, you got your pendant light hanging down, and then the wallpaper surrounding that. Okay, so in here, you're gonna have your French doors leading here. So you have a dry bar with an additional Gen Air refrigeration straight ahead. Then of course the recessed lights and the tray ceilings, adding a fantastic element. But what I wanna go ahead and do, we'll start over here to the right and make our way back. Look at how awesome this is. Wow. So not only the neutral colors, right? But the high ceilings, or at least the raised ceilings, your beautiful light fixture hanging down, king size bed, your two nightstands, your dresser, additional sitting area over there, French doors leading to your little private patio that you could take advantage of. And look at that view. As always, we always wrap the tour up out there, so we'll get to that a little bit later on. Let's finish up the rest of the tour. So I'm gonna do a full pan so you can see the full scope of the primary suite. Just to show you how much room you have. The white oak floors continues in here. What a great combination. And then of course, nice tall windows with the grids, bringing in some natural light. Okay, so as mentioned earlier, his and hers closets. Let's see the first one right here. So you already got your built-in drawers, your built-in cabinetry, built-in shelving. Again, look how much space you have in here. So this is going to be the perfect his closet. The white oak floors continues in here. You got another mirror right here. It's not a full body mirror, but hey, you can just make sure your jewelry's on nice and everything's good to go. The only thing I would have changed about this, and you let me know if you agree, is just add pocket doors for the closets. But other than that, fantastic. And of course, that's something that can be done pretty, or at least relatively easy. And of course, you see this one's a little bit larger than the other one, hence why I said this one would be the hers. And of course, you got the full body mirror, right? So there we go. So look at that. Your built-in drawers again, built-in cabinetry right above that. An additional space. I gotta open this. Look at this. For your laundry right there. Dirty laundry, you are good to go. Keep that stowed away. Perfect. Now you got an additional storage closet. Anticipate you just store your linens in here, some towels possibly, and you're good to go. And then one more glimpse of your little dry bar area. All right, so let's take a look. Our primary bath, you got the his and hers sinks. You see that we have the quartz countertops, the sconce in the mirror, Look at that. We got a nice soaker tub straight ahead right there. You don't have to worry about it being inside of the inside of the shower. That was the last tour. I know I heard that. And I called it in the video, so just to kind of warn you. So you got this neat looking wallpaper that's going to continue from floor to ceiling, or at least the baseboards. And then this will give you a better glimpse of the additional sink over there, nice size freestanding tub, and then heading into our super shower. Look at this. I know some folks call it the party shower or super shower. I like to call it that. But you got your chrome shower valves, shower wand, and then of course your shower head, the porcelain tile that's going to surround the entire perimeter, as you can see, of the entire shower. The only thing is the shower bench. That's the only thing I would add in there. You can get, a little freestanding one, no issues, but depending if you use that often, that's going to determine if that's a big deal to you. So the wallpaper actually extends inside of our water closet here, as well as the tall baseboard. So very well decorated, very well put together. And of course, each one of these models is curated by a complete professional, right? So you probably have noticed that time and time again, especially with Stock Luxury. They've done a fantastic job. Okay, now last but not least, let's go ahead and take a look at our outdoor living. Wow. So the soaring ceilings continues out here. And like I mentioned, sometimes you have to come out here and at least see this for yourself. Sometimes the videos don't do it justice. And I'm just being quite honest with you. I mean, sometimes it does. Hopefully you don't get out here and be disappointed. That would be the last thing I want you to do. But you got the herringbone pattern tiling surrounding the fireplace. You got your mantle again. And then the ceramic tile, at least the wood-like tile, extends all the way to the ceiling right there. Then you got the tray wood ceiling combination. Again, you see the extension of our outdoor living. That's going to continue straight ahead over here. But I just always love when we come out here, especially to these Stock Luxury homes, is because they really take pride as far as their outdoor living space. I mean, the home itself, right? But just the outdoor living, they really took their time, curated the furniture, and really just done a fantastic job. Okay, so over here, of course, where our primary suite is, right? That's going to be our little private patio, per se. And then you got your pool and spa, and then that's going to continue over here. So remember, that was the bonus room or the fourth bedroom if you want to opt for that. A quick access door right here, so additional living area. Then you got a nice little high bar, a built-in sink, built-in grill, stainless steel range hood, some additional counter space, and of course, some custom cabinetry. And of course, you got a little refrigeration right here. And just look at the full scope of this. Wow, love it. And then, of course, you got your additional area over here, hang out, enjoy the views, just have a fantastic job. Look, you can even have a nice little conversation with your neighbor over there. If you like them. If not, you probably want to plant some privacy trees or something like that. But other than that, family, that was another beautiful model home tour.
All right, Rankin family, that was it for this beautiful model home tour by Stock Luxury Homes. This one was the Margot 3. Let me know in the comments below what you thought about this particular model. Is this something you can see yourself living in? Would you make any changes? If so, let me know in the comments below. Of course, if you want more information about this home or any home we showcase, reach out to the information in the description. Consider hitting that subscribe button so you don't miss a tour every single week. I'll see you folks on the next property tour.